Hello, today we're going to talk about data validation. So data validation is something that you can use to make your worksheets more user-friendly. This is going to be appropriate when you're creating a sheet with formulas which you're going to distribute to someone else. So this right here is an example. I've got this kind of inventory catalog down here in the form of a table. And so basically if you enter a product number here, it looks up the information here. And so this would be one place where data validation would be very helpful. So you're going to look up the items based on their ID numbers. The ID numbers start at 1001 and they go down to 1122. So another way of thinking of this is there's no sense in entering a number below 1001 or above 1122. Otherwise you're just going to end up out of bounds. And so this is where the user would enter the number, and so this is where I would want to apply a data validation rule. So data validation, predictably, is under the Data tab. It's under the Data Validation, and I'm just going to click on the first one. This is where we set up our rules. So we get this dialog box, which is pretty friendly. By default, it's on any value, which means nothing. So I would say whole number, right? Because it doesn't make sense to like 1000.5, between 1001 and 1122. So this is only going to allow the user to put in useful values. So I click OK, and what does that do? Nothing at all. But now if someone tries to put in something like 888, they're going to get yelled at. And that's not really helpful. It's a little bit helpful. Right, I can't get out of this. So what I need to do to make this better is let's go back into data validation. And sure enough, there were two other tabs here which I just didn't address. Input message is going to be something to help the user out. So this is going to be 1000. This is just some kind of a tip to help the user get it right in the first place. Right, so this should help to stop those error messages from being generated. And error alert is probably the more useful part of it. So I'm just going to enter something like that, right? Bad number range. It would be more helpful to write what they should write, but I'm just trying to demonstrate the point here. I click OK, and so now notice that when you click on this cell, you get that thing. So it's telling you what exactly you need to do. And if I still do something dumb like 999, I'm going to get yelled at, bad number range. And sure, I should have done a better job with that message, but I felt like I would probably be just writing that again, and I kind of already wrote it once. So really you can see that data validation itself, relatively easy thing, oh sorry, I was on the wrong tab, relatively easy thing to create. And really, if you just use one of these, you're going to help the user out a lot. I guess you should use both, but one's probably okay. So let's look at one more place on this sheet where you might want to use data validation. These right here, these are lookups, quantity, right? So I want this thing, and I want 3 of them, I guess. It would make sense to apply data validation to that cell, and let's create a much easier rule this time. So let's go data validation, let's head over to settings. And we'll just say whole number, because you can't buy 0.5 modem cards. And let's just say greater than 0, right? I mean, so the idea that you can't buy negative numbers or something. You might want to put an upper end on it, but probably don't need to. And this time, let's do an error message. So there's my title, and the message itself will be enter a positive whole number. I click OK, and so now if a user does something goofy like 4.5, they get yelled at. All right, and retry means okay, I'm going to try that again, and I put in 7, and that works. So data validation didn't do anything that you can see, but it makes a big difference when you're handing this worksheet off to someone else. So if you're designing worksheets, which other people are going to use, particularly if there are formulas in that worksheet, you might want to give the user a little help. And so now you know how to do that with data validation.